Okay, great. This is Sherman here. Yesterday I was helping a friend work on his charts, So uh, apparently he used to trade on the news, but he just felt that he was in quite big drawdown, almost $70,000 in drawdown. He recovered all the money after we spoke. Um, but then yesterday he started trading, and then things went wrong again. So that's when he calls me. So whenever he calls me, means something is wrong. So uh, right now he wants to stop using the news and do more technical analysis. Basically, do what I do, right? Uh, but trading takes about maybe eight to 15 years, I think, to be good at it. Just like playing a piano. If you want to go on stage to play, you're not gonna spend 1-2 years learning and then go on stage, right? People are gonna pay money to hear a 2-year-old pianist perform. No, there's no way. So it takes around 8 to I think 12, 15 years, about there. But what we can do is try to shortcut that learning curve, because um, there's a lot of ideas out there, a lot of textbook ideas that people have, and I think one of them is trend lines. So just over the weekend, I was looking at what crazy stuff there is on YouTube, and just to see what people are saying. So I think a lot of guys who put stuff on YouTube kind of know what's going on, but they don't really know exactly. You have people who kind of able to do labelings, or they kind of know where the chart is going, but yet they still can't make money from trading. And then there's some people who try to tell you how to draw trend lines and stuff like that, but they may not even be able to trade, because it's a lot more difficult than just drawing trend lines, right? However, having said that, trend lines is still it can be useful, and I do use them. The problem is it can get quite complex, right? It's not so simple. But if we're going to do trend lines, then I was thinking maybe I should put one trend line video on what I think is a proper, is how I would do the trend lines, which is going to be different, going to be quite different from a lot of stuff out there. And the stuff I do is quite organic, so I just do it off the cuff, no preparation. I'll just cut down and I just look at any chart. All right. Now I could look at any chart here on foreign currencies, but I was thinking if I should just put up some random chart. But then let's just stick to currencies, right? What should I do? Let's just stick to let's just draw trend lines for the majors, right? For the majors. So let's just do for the euro dollar first. Let's just do for the euro dollar. So now I'm on the daily chart over here, right? So so I'm going to go the weekly. First, we go to weekly. So what you have right here is first, of course, you have this weekly trend over here. So this was your weekly trend. You have to start from somewhere. So okay, you just start from here. Let's say you just start from here. This is a weekly trend line. Weekly trend line. And this line could only be drawn, right, when this top was actually broken. Actually, there was a trend line here. When this one went up here, it came down like this. You see that? So when this one made a higher high, you did have one trend here, you did have one trend here. But then this trend line, ultimately, when it started to move from here, okay, I gotta start from really slow, because sometimes I just blaze right through, because I know how valuable and how useless trend lines can be. So everything has a use at a certain point in time, but so when I think trend lines have no use at a certain time, I'll just skip it. So okay, but anyway, let's just go step by step. So weekly trend line, okay, weekly trend line. Let's mark it as you can mark it as orange, right? So you just learn weekly trend line, and all these could have been drawn. All this was drawn when price action ultimately went up here, it came down here, and it went and broke this top over here. And that is your weekly trend, right? That's a weekly trend. So the weekly trend line is this. We broke this top, right? And then Okay, and then sometimes you also see from my charts, then I will just put something. Okay, if you want, you can put the WXY like this. Okay, like this. Weekly trend. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Weekly trend. There was then there's another trend that you can draw from here, if you wanted to. You draw this trend line down like this. This is also a trend right there. See that? Also a trend. But it might have been a monthly trend actually. Let me see. Monthly trend. Okay, so let's just call it a weekly trend then. Maybe a 2-week trend. This would be a 2-week trend. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. 2-weekly trend. Oh, then a weekly trend would have been something like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this trend line ultimately it serves no real purpose, right? Ultimately, when we kept this trend line all the way there, at this point, it doesn't serve as a purpose in trading. So I would not have cared much about that, right? So what I would do then, if it's a weekly trend, would have been something like this one here. This would be a weekly trend as price started to go up. And this weekly trend line, you can say, okay, this is going to be my weekly trend, something like that. And then from here, okay, weekly trend. Oh, but then before that as well, you see here, this was also a trend. 1, 2, and 3 here. So before that happened, this was actually a trend line, and then there would have been a break over here, right? So you might have called this, you might have decided to call this WXYZ 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like this, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Should I remove this one? Okay, I'll just remove this one. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that is your weekly trend. Does it really influence your trading? Well, the wave count is pretty important. So 1 push, 2 push, 3 push. So at this point in time, you have to be very careful because you know it's really gone up 1. This is where the Elliott wave will start to rejoice. So over here at this point at the 5, over here, at any point this guy here can turn. It could turn here. You see as I'm moving the chart, it could turn at any point. Boom, and then it starts to break over here. Now when this one breaks, it could break, and then after that it can go up and break the top again. Or it can break and then it gets correct and then it comes down again. And this thing, when it comes down here like this, it can go up or it can come down here, making this before it goes up, or it just comes here, stays here, and then it collapses again. So the trading gets more complex, right? But again, this is not about trading, this is about trend line. So whenever I trade, my mind goes into the future, into which way price is going to go. So in this case, I know that this is a trendline break, but trendline break does not mean that also, right? So now price has come down, and then now it went up, break this top. So what happens? Trendline change like this. So what this means, it means this is now one wave. This is another wave. This is the third wave. So there are 3 pieces in this wave, basically. 1 wave, 2 wave, 3 waves. Okay. So this is how, for me, trend line works. And knowing how to shift the trend lines is quite important because it allows you to forecast things, basically. If you look at my charts, I can forecast it to some degree of accuracy, but and I can make an educated guess on the bias. So what's next? Of course, the bias is one thing. But trading it is another skill set altogether. Remember that, I think a lot of YouTube videos always tell you about how this is successful, and then everyone just kind of tell you what's going to happen as they put a chart like that, then they explain the whole thing. Yeah, what's the use in that? You should do a chart like that, and then before it happens, you say that this has happened, and then when it moves, it happens, right? I think that is what YouTube videos should be when it comes to trading. You know, why explain things that have already happened? That's crazy stuff. So, like for example, like this euro pound. If I say that, like even though there's a trend line over here and this one broke, you see it broke here, but it does not mean that. It does not mean that at all, right? Just because a trend line breaks doesn't mean that that is not going to happen. So actual trading is completely different, right? So you can see where do you go? It follows the arrow. So even though I see a trend line break, it doesn't mean that it doesn't mean much to me, because the entire context is more important than just one line or one indicator or just look at the volume. There's a lot to be this one, where support resistance is, where trend line is, how much this has pushed, how far has pushed, everything matters. So if you ask me, yesterday night my friend asked me, Sherman, what is the best indicator? So I said, whenever we talk, I have to be very careful what I say, because if I say this is a good indicator, and you always see on my charts, but this indicator alone cannot be used to trade. Volume alone cannot be used to trade. Stochastic, it works, but it cannot be used to trade. I have moving averages as well. You see here on the left side, but even though if I put it on, it just the moving average cannot be used to trade. So the entire context has to come together in order to be able to forecast charts. You see, because if I don't put everything together, then basically how I would explain a chart would be, I would just do this, then I explain this is what happened, and then in correction, and that happened, and this happened, and then that happened, and everything just sounds so easy. But once you have that and you can't see the future, suddenly it gets a lot more complicated, right? So again, it's fun to say you're going to make lots of money. Yes, you can, but again, I just want to put a reality check on things. We have, and hopefully only those who are really keen on trading will come into the industry. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, back to our normal trend line. So trend line here, the trend line broke. When trend line breaks, this could be all the correction, and then this one goes up. Or this breaks first wave, second wave, then you have a third wave. So same thing. So this one, when you see when this trend line broke over here, this one could be a 1, could be 2, could be 3, or it can just go up and break the top. So here came down. This could have gone up to break the top. This could have gone up to break the top, or you just do a 1, 2, 3 like that. And then this one starts to get confusing. This can be a correction to come down, or you just shoot up straight. This is a correction. So the one thing that they do have in common is that when this happened, this pull up, very important. You have to check this count of zones. All very important. Again, sorry I digress, but okay, back to the normal simple trend line. So this is a trend line. Let's do the baby stuff. This is the baby stuff, man. Hey, this is trend line. All right, trend line. Trend line was there. So this trend line never changed until you have this happen, right? When that happened, what is the trend line? The trend line is now here, but you also have that weekly trend line over there, right? So but this trend line never went on. You only saw that trend line, right? And this making lower lows, and this one did not break that previous stop. So in terms of wave count, this is a 1, this is a 2, and then this is a 3. Then within this 3, there is a 1, there's a 2, there's a 3 as well. So basically, the count is going to be 1, 2, and then a 3. This is 1, 2, 3, and then this is 1, 2, 3. Okay, right. So that is so this is how all the weekly trends are drawn, basically. This one could have this one here will have something like a daily trend over there actually. So let's say right now we had this, right? From here 1, 2, 3 now. When this one was going up, here, when price was going up like this, right? Price went up, choo, break this top. Fine. So when that happens, you can pull out something like a green line, pull a trend line this way. Because this one kind of makes sense. This one, this corrective trend lines are very good to put on, basically. All right, corrective trend lines are very good to put on because when they break, they actually mean something. Right. So, for example, like this one, when it breaks over here, this actually means something. You know, when it pulls back, these are all good sells. All good sells are downside. Okay, let's talk about trading. Let's talk about trend lines. So this is actually a trend line. So for trading, this is like a 3-day, I would say a 3 or 4-day trend line. So go to 3 days. Yeah, see over here, 4-day trend line. Yeah, here see 1, 2, 3. Also, you see here 1, 2, 3 MACD, right? 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So very nice. So we actually trade this. We trade this down. You could trade it to here, or you aim further. But you aim further, you're giving up a lot of profit. So always remember, zone to zone is trading to a certain level is always a good thing, right? So take off profit is always a good thing, especially zones where you know that there can be a possible reaction, right? So these are all daily trend lines. This is the daily trend line as well. It's a corrective trend line, but at this point in time, it's actually hard to tell because if this one was that, right, and if this one actually at that point in time, the trend lines would have helped you get that. But in terms of where the direction, right, this could have gone there, or it could have gone there. This breaking the top or breaking the bottom, right? Because that's what trading is. Either the top break or the bottom will break. So on my charts, when I put chart, I always give the direction. If I think it's up, I put a cross at the bottom. If I think it's down, I put a cross at the top. Right? So if it's wrong, it's wrong. If it's right, well, it's right. So luckily for me, I'm right most of the time. Right? So therefore, in this case, we have the trend lines, we have this trend line, we have that trend line. In this case, price action broke to the downside. Let's go to the weekly, back to the weekly again. Okay, so you go back to the weekly, so you have that. You have that trend line. Right? So you have this weekly trend line. The original weekly trend line would have been something that looked like this one. This was original weekly trend line. Yeah, original weekly trend line, which after it went up, it came down, broke this low, then this one doesn't matter anymore. Now this is the first, second, this is the third. This is the third, right? So this is what we have right now. Now the question is, where is this trend line going to matter? To me, actually, I don't really care about it so much right now because I care more about this trade itself. Okay, I care more about this trade. So what I care about is if this new trend will whether this will happen, or if this will come and break this low. Now, if you ask me from a trading point of view, which I hope will happen, I hope that this breaks this low, because then this upside is 95%. Right? It's just like oil. It's just like my gold charts. Quite phenomenal. Or my pound yen. Direction is quite phenomenal, and they're all planned like 1 month in advance, basically. Right? So if this comes to the low, it's going to be phenomenal, right? And at this point in time, this trend line, even though I drew it, it's not important at all. In terms of trading, it isn't that important, right? Okay, so this one is also another trend over there. You can use it. You see that? Very nice. You can use it to pick the bottom as well. But again, if you kept it thinking it's going to go up too far, you get back all the profits, right? Okay, so just remember that. So this is these are weekly, daily trend lines, right? Um, What else? Let's say we go to a lower time frame. Let's go daily and just put on some daily trend lines. All this would have been, let's do something funky. If this is the first move, the second move, this is the third move, right? So let's go look at this potential corrective wave. It could be a fifth wave down to break this low at the bottom, or it could be this first, this second, this third. But let's not, again, let's go back to the normal stuff. So daily trend, it would have been here. Right, that would be daily trend. Okay, this is just like a 1, a 2, then a 3 like this. So this is like making this is like one wave down. And then when it went up and it broke this low, only when it broke this low, so let's say it does this. Nothing happened, boom. Okay, so when that happened, this line here became that. This is how to do trend lines. Yeah. Okay. Whether or not it's useful in trading is something else. There's a time to use trend line, there's a time just to forget about it, right? But, okay, so like all tools in the trading arsenal, sometimes you use volume, sometimes you don't. One candle alone doesn't mean anything, but a candle with looking at how swings, looking at time action, the candle makes this volume is also very useful, right? Only at certain points, at the crucial moments, right? Crucial moments. So basically now we have this daily trend line. It comes on like that, came down like that. It made this corrective trend, like so. And the reason why we know that is because on hindsight, it came and broke this low. That's why, but from here, it's a 1, 2, 3. But if you came here and then you entered here, well, you have to exit quickly because you didn't, boom, took the loss, basically, right? So, okay, so then this trend line actually shifts. So you don't connect all the points. I hear people say you connect all the points. It kind of makes sense, but again, it depends on the situation. It depends on the situation, really. So for me, I will connect it this way. Okay, because it helps me actually place trades and how many big tops and bottoms, basically. So this one would be more of a 4-hour trend. So let me just put that in blue, right? You just put it in blue, like so. So let's do all the real chart, all the weird stuff, right? I mean, when I see people put trend lines on a PowerPoint slide, it's nonsense, man. Higher high, lower high, higher high, lower high. Hey, draw one trend line. Come on, man. Is that trading? This is kid stuff. Yeah. So again, trend line like this, all right? And then when it went up, it came down. So now you start to wonder, was this all the correction? So if this was all the correction, so then I have to start pulling up fibs like so. If I think that this is all one move down, it hit the 270, okay. Okay. Right. So at this point in time, if I think that was if I think that this was one move down, one push, maybe a 2 push, a 3 push here, and if I think this sharp move is all the correction, that means the bias that basically I would get, right? This doesn't have to hit the low. If you hit the low, if you hit here, it'll be quite good. But if it doesn't hit the low, doesn't mean that it has to go lower, right? Doesn't mean it could just end. Price could just be like this. It could come further down, but it could just be here. It doesn't have to touch the low. So it's good if it touches, but if it doesn't, then that's just too bad, right? So basically, this is what you have right now. You have this. If this is my forecast, let's forecast it here, and then I think this is up, and then I think this is down here. That means this is going to be my A, this is going to be a B, this is going to be my C. 1, 2, 3. If that is the case, and this is going to be the first wave up, if this corrects down here, and this makes any move to the upside, my projection is up. Yeah. So if I go back to the daily, let's say I go back to the weekly, like so. If I look at this, I'm thinking, what's in my mind right now, that this move here because of this up and this wave count, and this went up here. In this case, this little trend line here gives me the feeling of an A, B, and then a C, or 1, 2, and 3. Now, of course, this 1, 2, 3 could go up. See, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then what is this? 1, 2, and then this is 3. Will euro dollar be going up so high? Possible, but then there are just so many possibilities, because this one could be, it could also come up here, get stuck right there, right? And then what if it just, for some reason, just trickle back down? Then this whole thing here is going to be one wave. This can be one wave, 1, 2, and then a very, very sad wave. And whoever thought it was A, B, C, or only do impulse, correction, impulse, they have no clue what they're talking about either, because a lot of these things are just traded on the fly. You won't know it until you get very close to it. That's the main thing, right? Okay, so that's the euro dollar weekly, daily trend lines, right? Let's just go to something random, right? Something weird. Euro pound stuff. I'm going to look at charts that I don't really trade, because if I trade them often, naturally I know what the trend line is, right? So we're going to look at charts that I don't trade at all. Put me in a spot, right? So basically, we're going to start right from here. Actually, we should do the monthly, right? Monthly is easy. Monthly, because basically it's here, okay? So you can see this is like a monthly trend. It's easy. This is 1, this is 2, and then this is 3, right? And the reason why that is 3, the only time when we know it is when? The only time when you know it is when this happened. When that happened. It's the only time when we actually know it, right? Okay. So put a monthly trend line, like so. That is your monthly trend line. Like so. And then for monthly, we're gonna use powerful color, we're gonna use red. So that is your monthly trend line. Okay, so okay, so monthly trend line we have, let's go look at a weekly. So go to a weekly time frame. So when this was happening, when this monthly trend line we could only draw when this top was broken, right? Now, before all that actually happened, let's say we are actually trading live, the week, and you don't have this line at the moment, right? Then the only line, if let's say we were looking at this point here, then the trend line would have been here. Then that would have been your trend line, your weekly trend line. So let me go do a weekly trend line. Yeah, this is a weekly trend line. Why? Because top was broken. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so that is your weekly trend line. And then price action went up, came down, and then you also have another thing, another one here, like so. Okay, so just connect the higher highs, like so. So price is staying above the weekly trend line. And then you don't do anything. And I don't like, there's no point extending this too far in the future. It only makes sense, it only makes sense at the moment in time. So if this went up, came down, went up, came down, at this point in time, it makes sense. But once too far in the future, this trend line doesn't really make sense, doesn't make sense anymore. So it makes sense only at a certain point in time when the context of it is kind of accurate, and in the sense that the looks of it, of all this, it kind of makes sense still, right? So you can say this one goes up, comes down, goes up, comes down around this trend line over here. And then there's over here, there's, see, it broke out, so it come back to retest, came back to retest all this, and then it goes up. So you could say there's some confluence there, I guess. And then that's why, you feel like it's a weekly trend is supposed to be strong. But what I would think is more important is not so much this weekly trend line, right? From a trading perspective, what is more important is actually not this weekly trend line that you should be focused on. The trend line you need to focus on is actually this one, and this is going to be a daily trend line. So this is about trading. So I'm not so much about the theory is important, but so from a trading aspect, the trend line that you want is actually this one because it helps in forecasting and in actually placing trades. So this is the one that you want. All right. So basically, that's the one that you want. You see. So what you're basically looking for is if you can pick it at the low, you try to pick it at low, and then you try to go up. Or if you're gonna pick it at low, you can always you know come it down, go up. Then all these, support, turn resistance, turn support stuff comes into play. Let's take the trend line. So basically, if you pull this daily trend, this daily corrective trend line down this way, okay, this is going to be bearish like so. So you have one move up, one move down. So this went up, came correction, then it started to correction, then it started to go up like this. That's basically what it was. Right? So this trend line, let's go back to the weekly. Do we have anything on the weekly? It's very sharp. So this is all one piece. Right? So we go to the daily. So switch back to the daily. I would say this would have been important. This would be important. If this had gone lower, of course, you would have pulled that, right? Um, so right now, if it made a higher high, then this trend line goes this way. But this trend line down, it came here and touched that. This touch actually doesn't mean much. So you wouldn't give much care to that actually. What is more important is not the trend line. It's what important is actually this one, this levels over here. That's what important. That's what give that, not this hypothetical trend line, right? So this is actually pretty useless. So even though you can draw it, not important. Take it off. What's important, the trend line that's important is the immediate one, which is this one over here. That is the immediate one. So once you got that trend line, okay, then you're gonna look at something like the 12-hour or the 4-hour. 12-hour, 4-hour. So far back, I don't know whether chart supports. Maybe it supports. Okay, so yeah, so you see that. So you have that. So you just connect the bottoms like so. Then after that, you see. So this was actually that. Then after that, when you made a higher high, it came down, made another higher high over here. See this one? Then the trend line became that. Yeah. So the price cannot be too far from the trend line basically. So when it actually breaks, this is where it actually makes sense. So if this is the first wave, if this was the first wave, and this is the second wave, that means after some sideways, there should be a move to break either the top or the bottom. In this case, the bottom was broken. So if this was the first wave and you're looking for a credit structure, and then somehow you got this one that allows you to shoot in the correct direction to break this low, that means you might have put a trend line this way, like this, trend line this way. Now this one could have come down and break this low, but life is not so simple. So it came down as a 1, as a 2, as a 3. So when this one made a higher high, this doesn't mean that higher high. So that's why the context is very important. Just because you see a high high doesn't mean that that's, this could be actually a corrective structure in order to come down and not to make higher highs, right? Now, so in some cases, all this made all these made higher highs like that. But this was not the kind of structure for it to come down. So this structure, under the context of this, and then because of the amount of time that it took, you start to assume is this correct structure? And if it is, this one I should not be taking buys upside. I think this is one, this should be have a third wave down as well. And if you predict that the bottom will be broken, the top put X, well, that is the correct trade, right? That would be the correct trade. So this would have been the trend line over there, right? Then I'm gonna remove everything. It's too many trend lines, you know. So the latest trend line would have been let's go to daily. So the trend lines keep shifting and changing all the time. They shift and change. So this is okay. Well, you're very far away. Let me see. We're over. Let's go back. How far were we? And let's just start. Let's just work from here. Let's work from here. So this one also. This was a lower low. That would be the trend line over here, like so. That's your trend line. So this would be have been your first wave, second wave, third wave, first wave, second wave, third wave. So right. So right now, the trend line that will be important. This will be the trend line. This one over here. This is important trend line, like so. The trend lines that you want to focus on actually are the corrective trend lines, not the impulse is not so important because the corrective trend ends, then the new impulse will start. So I would suggest if you draw trend lines, try to focus on the corrective trend lines. They're quite important, I think. Okay, so that's trend line. So another trend line would be a trend line that looks like that. This one probably on the weekly. Let me check the monthly. No, it's a monthly trend line. Yeah. Very nice. This is a monthly trend line. I remember people telling me about how this was like going to come down. Uh, like I don't know. So all this space over here. Well, guess what? Put the top instead. So yeah, ultimately this will come down, but not until a lot of people have lost a lot of money, right? Okay. So right now, the move that whether this will come down or go up, from this point of view, actually it's 50-50, to be honest. Until more waves start to develop, like maybe like this, like this, then that is coming down. That will be your 50% account increase. So if you have 100,000, well, actually it might be even more. Your 100K might be 200K, your 500K become 1 million. Your 1 million, you become 2 million, right? But for this kind of trades, well, there's a large time factor there. Large time factor there, just like oil. There's a large time factor there. See oil, when it was over here, you're supposed to buy. People say don't fight the trend. Well, unfortunately, I think those people are all gone now. So there's a large time factor. Long time. 2016 to 2019, 3 years, right? From here to here. So imagine you come all the way here. It's good idea to. Would you? The time factor gives safety. You know, the time factor gives safety, and it's extreme zones, and so much time has gone. That's why you need to look for the up. Okay, basically this one. All right. Anyway, so let's go back to Euro pound. So right now, the trend line for this one would be that. That is your trend line. All right. This one and then this one we're gonna put. We're gonna make this blue in color. This is your trend line over here. So, right. And then you're gonna, of course, the stuff we all love. We're gonna put that. All right. The magic labels that everybody secret. I know that change lives, right? Let me see. Uh, yeah. So just put a question mark here. One question mark here because what if this one just creeps up further and breaks this top even? That would be a nightmare for a lot of people. But anyway, that to be your ABC. So this is your trend line over there. So right now we are in this wave. And wondering what this is doing. So nothing, we can't see really much here. So let's go to daily. So the easy the easy trade would be actually to the downside. If I had to put a trend line, I would say I don't want this to be auto correction, but I know this can creep up as well. So in other words, this is the one that catches most people out. Something like that. 1, 2, and 3. So you don't actually have a sell right now. You don't have a sell right now. But if we go to a lower time frame, you might say that if this line, this is a credit, this is what I think is a potential correction. And if I think this is the one wave down, right? Then if this was to break, if this corrective trend line was to break, so okay, where are we? There. If this one was to chart like this, and then it was to break, anything that looks like it's making lower low, see all this making higher highs, right? Came down here, went up. See this one, but didn't go far enough. It really depends on what this was actually. But again, I should not talk about trading. So trend line. So basically, this trend line, what you actually just want to see is you just want to see do stuff and then just consolidate below this trend line. Right? Then you hope that will potentially happen, and this will come down to at least this low to where the where the support is. So there's this all this support over here. Yeah, you just set it down to there. So this corrective trend lines are important, right? Very important. Okay. So this one would be a trend line on the 4 hour. So let me just turn that to blue. Using trend lines to trade, right? Okay. Okay, let's go look at the euro pound. No, wait. Let's go even lower. Okay, this one was where, like, let me just clear everything. So now we go even lower time frame, right? So now we are over here. We're over here. You see, this was also a trend here. So now I'm on a 1 hour. I'm going to shift it down to maroon, right? Now, so this was done yesterday, and I said at this point in time, this go up. So at this point in time here, I said this go up. See that? So come back here again. At this point in time, we said this is supposed to go up. So you click play. Yes, it go up. So yes, it go up. Yes, it go up. Okay. Now, the reason why I need to mention stuff like this because there is no such thing as one thing makes money. One trend line, and then there's going to be magic. It's not. It's not because you also need to look at the context of how far this whole thing has pushed. 1, 2, 3, 4. This whole thing could be a 5. This has pushed very, very far. You see this. You see this. You know that this must be coming. So trading extreme zones, like you don't want to sell here, but if you want to pick a top, you can pick it when this one has pushed so far. Even without any indicators or anything, if you just see something push really, really, really far and it don't normally push so far, something must be wrong. So when it pushes that far, you see looking something like an Elliott wave or something that looks like there are a few pushes down like this, or a few pushes and then this one push really far to some level like this, where there are stops here, and then this the reason it comes here and when there's very low power over here, you see all these many candles. So when it arrives in a very slow manner to places like that, it's basically hunting stops. That's what it is. Right. So basically what this is coming down very slowly is to hunt the stops over here. So when stops are hunted, guess what? In order to profit, it has to go up. I mean, yeah, because you got to put all those people under pressure, right? So basically, anyway, so when it comes here, then some people might, I don't know, maybe some people thought that this was a sell. Maybe they just want to continue. So when someone sell, and then those smart money, they just, if you think that this is a trend down, you broke the trend line, it's going down, well then smart money will If you sell, then smart money will be the one buying, and price moves in the direction where smart money wants it to go, basically, right? So it goes up. Now, what you want is if it comes down slow, there's going to be one more upside, and all these over here are potential reaction levels. That means what that means is from a trading point of view. Again, I'm still talking about trend, but I keep coming back with trading because that's what I do. I do forecast. Basically, I decide where price. We have to guess where price is going to go. Otherwise, all these trend lines are basically useless, right? So basically, what you want is something sideways. You want to look for a move up to around here. That's it. If you can take this move, it's going to be quite good. Now, I can also see trend lines here that are going to be useful, like so. This is also a potential trend line. All these, like so. So if all these are like potential, I think it's the first wave up correction. If it came out of that and consolidate here anywhere here, all these are good moves to the upside to take. So the trend line that is very important is basically the corrective trend line. You need to try to focus on that. You know, stuff like that. See that? And then if you decide that is where you want it to go, your risk is there, then you try to take 1:2. It's possible too. So studying those trend lines on the 4 hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes, 15, scalping 1 minute charts. They're actually more important because these daily trend lines, time is precious, right? So all the trades that are being done are actually should be done on the lower level, because if you want to take trades, right, you want to make money. These trades on the daily, they do make you money, but 3-4 years might pass before you can actually decide that you can take a trade. And then what's going to happen within those 3-4 years? You know, you need to survive. It's good if like oil, one trade comes along once in 3 years, right at the bottom, then that's a sure money maker, right? But if you wait so long, imagine you wait for that long, and this is your trend like that, and then you enter here, it didn't go far, right? So your stop was at the low, then you maximum, I don't know. So what I'm trying to say is that the daily trends, they are kind of important, but learn it, master it, but know that when it comes to day trading, it's not that special. Not that special at all. What's more important in day trading, right, are actually the support and resistance levels, right? What's important for trend lines is actually on the lower level. So on lower time frames like 4 hour, 1 hour, 30, 15, yeah, use your trend lines. But when it comes to daily, weekly, monthly, look at these levels. They are more important, right? So know when what to use, right? When people teach you on YouTube about daily trend lines, I want to tell you, fuck them, man. Even if you knew all this, it's not going to benefit you. Okay, it's not going to benefit you. You must know when to use what. When to use what. You know, don't be misled by all that crazy stuff. Okay, so this is the example that I just want to stress on. You know, these gurus, even though you could draw this trend line, even if you're broke, but it never went very far. And how much time would have been wasted? So it makes no sense on the daily. But what makes sense on the daily are stuff like that. You see, they represent levels that are very, very important. So again, I stress, if you do not take anything away from this, and I know people who have listened to me for a year, they're like, Sherman, it makes no sense. And then a year later, oh, now it makes sense. Well, listen to this. Corrective trend lines are very, very important. Corrective trend lines on the lower time frames. They're very important. They are what allow you to get into trades. All right, all these, like 1 hour, all these here, very important. When it comes to these levels, like see these levels, you see, all these levels, these levels, right? And these lows over here, you see all these lows over here. Like if it's at the low here on the daily or the weekly, you want to go down somewhere, must be joking. Follow the trend. You know, you have to respect these levels on the daily, weekly. All right. So focus more on the support and resistance levels for daily, and focus more on the corrective trends for the lower time frames. Right? Know when at what time. Know when to use what tools that you have in our tool bag. Right? Drawing trend lines is not so much used for the daily at all. Or even anybody who tells you that it's like someone selling you an indicator for $100 and you're going to become a millionaire. Are you going to buy an indicator for $100 and become a millionaire? Does that make sense? Right? So that's all I have to say. Trends, support and resistance. All right, that's all I want to say. I'm gone. Bye-bye.